Hello, I'm Sid. Today we will be learning about shallow copying and deep copying. We have already initialized one value over here. We can see that we are having an object with multiple attributes. Also, we have a nested object over here. On this line, we are trying to copy obj1 to obj2. So this will be the copied object and this will be the original object. In the copied object, we are modifying the name attribute. Also, we are modifying the nested attribute of the copied object, that is backend. Let's see the logs. We can see that although we have modified the attributes of the copied object, still the changes are getting reflected in the original object as well. It is because in JavaScript we copy by reference. So whenever we have any object or array, it gets copied by the reference. In order to resolve this, we will try using shallow copying. There are multiple ways to do shallow copying. I'll show you the first way. So this will be the target object and this will be creating a new reference. That is, a new memory location will be allocated for this object. And the other way is by destructuring. Let's see the log. In case of shallow copying, we can see that the original object's name attribute is not getting modified anymore. However, we can see that the nested attribute of the original object is still getting modified. It is because we are still referring to the same memory location for this nested object. So whenever we did this shallow copying, at that time we created a new memory location for the main object. However, the nested object was still pointing to the same memory location. So whenever we are modifying the nested object, it is still getting reflected in the original object. In order to resolve this, we will have to do deep cloning. So what we are doing is we are stringifying this object and then again we are parsing it. That means we are converting it back to an object. So what happens is that a new reference is created for the nested object as well as the main object. Let's see the log. Now we can see that the name attribute and the nested attribute is not getting modified anymore. However, still there is a limitation to this way of deep cloning. You can see that we have one set attribute over here which is not getting copied in the copied object. It is because this way of deep cloning doesn't support set, map and other types of data. In order to resolve this, we will be using a native function called structured clone. Whenever we use structured clone, we are able to copy different types of data like set, map, etc. Deep copy and shallow copy is also applicable for arrays. We can see that we are having an array over here and the first item is a primitive value, whereas the second item is a nested array. And what we are doing is we are simply copying array 1 to array 2 and it is a copy by reference. We can see that in the copied array we are trying to push another element over here. So in this nested array we are trying to push another element. We can see in the logs that even the original array is getting modified, even though we have just modified the copied array. In order to resolve this, again we can use deep cloning. Now we can see that the original array is not getting modified anymore. We will go back to objects Now let me explain you the limitation of structured clone. Let's say we have one function inside this object. Let's see the log. Now we will also try to copy this greet function to this object. We can see that we are getting an error because structured clone doesn't support function, and that's the reason we are getting this error over here, that this cannot be cloned. In order to resolve this, we will have to install an external package. All we need to do is just install this load dash package. We can import it in this way. We need to call the clone deep function from the load dash package. We can see in the log that even the function is getting copied over here. So depending on your use case, you can determine which function you can use for cloning. Thank you for watching. Please like, share the video and subscribe to the channel.